drumsandbeats.com. Welcome to drumsandbeats.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Brazilian rhythm, specifically a Bossa Nova groove. Now, Brazilian rhythms, there's tons of them out there, and specifically the Bossa Nova groove has a typical rhythm that you use. Now, it's not set in stone. There's a lot of room for improvisation, especially with the cymbal or hi-hat and filling in toms. But the snare rhythm is what it is, and the bass, drum, and hi-hat keep the beat. So I already created the bass drum. This is how the bass drum kind of sounds like. Now, as you can hear, there's leading notes in the bass drum. Now, this is on purpose because you want the groove to feel usually on the 1E and which is these notes here. They're meant to lead. They're like leading notes, so it pushes the rhythm to keep going. It pushes the groove, to have that push, if you know what I mean. Instead of just straight, it's almost like jazz. Want to keep it going, keep it swinging. But this is Brazilian. So, and the hi-hat goes. It's on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're gonna do this. So this is the basic underlying rhythm that keeps the tempo, keeps the beat. Now we add the cross stick snare drum on top. Now this is a specific rhythm. It takes some practice to remember it, but I'll show you once I record it. So you may have heard this in some Brazilian rhythms in the Bossa Nova groove. It's typical. So it's on the 1 and the 2, 1E and the 1E and the 2 and the 3 and the 4E, and 1E and the 2E and the 3 and the 4, 1E and the 2E and the 3 and the 4E and So I accented the notes for you so you can see. So that's the basic core groove of the Bossa Nova rhythm. Now we're gonna experiment with using the cymbals and the hi-hats and the tom drums to fill in and make it a bit more interesting than what it is right now. I'm going to copy the pattern, duplicate it, and I'm going to double the length by holding pattern, double, and that will give us more room for syncopation and ideas. Instead of compacting in just one bar and having it repeat over and over, we'll have some more room to experiment with. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you a typical how you would normally play the cymbal, and then we can add some variations. Kind of like that. And if you want to do variations, well, whatever rhythm you feel like, kind of like this. Kind of like syncopated. So I'm gonna add a syncopated ride bell in there. So it's kind of grooving now. And I'm gonna add a open hi at the end. Alright, now we're going to add some toms to make it interesting. Usually on the drum set, you would use your right hand while your left hand is on the snare doing the cross stick. You would move from the hi-hat on the left or from the ride cymbal, whichever syncopated rhythm you're doing. You would quickly move and fill in some toms just to make it interesting. So something like sound like this. Of course, you might not have that many tom fills in there, but just if you want to keep it simple, just put a few notes in there to add something interesting. For example, kind of like that. And if you want cowbell, so you can add like a lot of different fills. Now, I'm going to add some snare drums in there. Mind you, keep the main cross stick pattern apparent, so you can add some ghost notes in there. We don't want to swamp the rhythm. We want to still keep that bossa nova feel. So if you do add anything, make sure that it complements the main Brazilian bossa nova groove and doesn't take away from it, because it's important to keep the feel, especially whatever type of music you're playing. It's important to keep the feel of the beat while still having the freedom to create what you want. So that's the art of making music, especially to a specific genre. Keep the feel, but still be creative in that, in the general guidelines of that genre. Okay, so I'm going to I'll show you how to use the note repeat function to maybe add some interesting snare. Oops. All right. So you might want a bit faster than 16th notes. You might want 16th, 30-second notes. So I'm going to switch that. It will add more lively feel to it, for example. So I'm trying to keep the main bossa nova groove in there and filling in some ghost notes. Same with the tom fills. Just filling that in. You can also, let's say, if you want more cymbal, you can same thing here. So kind of like little frills, like kind of like that. So you get the point. You can play around a bit, use different elements, maybe add some cowbell in there, and maybe add some bass, maybe a guitar, some congas. You get the point. But you have the freedom to move around while still keeping that Brazilian bossa nova feel. So I hope this was helpful, and hopefully you can use it in your own sound production, your own songs, and let me know how it goes.